Who haven't I slept with is probably a shorter answer. Oh gosh, so many. Travis, Offset, Quavo. I went on tour with YG. That was pretty fun. Tiger.
Really, that early?
Yeah.
I could make that.
Yeah.
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party though.
Uh-huh.
No, it'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel. You know?
And then it will carry on there.
22, 23, and I'm looking at LA like, oh my gosh, these lights. It's like Hollywood and fame and like these huge parties with like all this expensive alcohol and people that you've idolized and looked up to. And as a 22-year-old, 23-year-old, I'm thinking this is amazing. But I definitely saw a different side to Hollywood. Don't get me wrong, I had so much fun. Like, it was the best time of my life. But you definitely get to see what these people are actually like.
For years, whispers have surrounded Diddy's world, whispers of control, of power wielded in ways so quiet they almost go unnoticed. But as allegations against him mount, allegations of sex trafficking, racketeering, and more, a pattern is starting to emerge. A pattern of deliberate, unnervingly calculated signals. These signals weren't obvious, at least not at first glance. They blended into the backdrop of glitz and glamour, hidden in plain sight. But the more people began to share their stories, the clearer the picture became. What seemed inconsequential to some carried weight to others, and among the accounts that surfaced, one voice stood out: Sienna Grace, an OnlyFans model and socialite with a history of attending high-profile events. Sienna had built a reputation for navigating the entertainment world with poise, but her story about one particular party was unlike anything she had ever shared before. It wasn't the extravagant setting or the celebrity encounters that lingered in her mind. In an exclusive interview, Sienna described moments that at first seemed innocuous, simple gestures, casual interactions, but with time, she began to piece together the intent behind these acts, and as the allegations against Diddy gained traction, her memories took on a darker tone. But before diving into her experiences, let's step back and consider the broader implications. The entertainment industry has long been shrouded in mystique. Power dynamics play out in ways that often go unnoticed by outsiders. Symbols of wealth and exclusivity, a bottle of champagne, a designer sweater, can take on meanings far beyond their surface value, and this isn't new. Historically, those in positions of power have used subtle tactics to assert dominance, whether through whispered conversations, coded gestures, or seemingly benign gifts. The mechanisms of control are often invisible until someone shines a light on them. As more stories emerged, a disturbing pattern began to take shape. Allegations ranged from coercion to outright abuse, painting a grim picture of how power can be weaponized. Diddy's arrest in September 2024 sent shockwaves through the industry.
Shows Combs being taken into custody in a Manhattan hotel last week. Our senior investigative correspondent.
Over 120 individuals came forward with accounts that included accusations of sex trafficking, racketeering, and manipulation. Among these voices, Sienna stood out not for its sensationalism, but for its chilling specificity. Her story was a masterclass in subtlety, a reminder that control doesn't always need to be loud or violent to leave a mark. Take for instance the sweater. At one event, an assistant casually draped it over Sienna's shoulders. It seemed thoughtful, even considerate, but the gesture lingered in her mind. It felt calculated, as though it carried an unspoken message. At first I thought it was just a kind act, Sienna said, but later I realized it wasn't about kindness, it was about control. Then there was the Ace of Spades champagne. At another party, she was handed a bottle by an assistant. It sparkled under the lights, a symbol of exclusivity and luxury. Yet the moment she accepted it, the atmosphere shifted. Within minutes, she found herself ushered into a private room. No explanation, no choice. The realization hit her later. It wasn't just a drink, it was a signal. These moments, when taken in isolation, might seem trivial, but when viewed as part of a larger narrative, they reveal a chilling pattern of manipulation. They weren't about grand gestures or overt displays of power. They were subtle, deliberate, and insidious. The allegations against Diddy go far beyond these instances. They speak to a culture of exploitation that permeates the entertainment world, a culture where boundaries blur and consent becomes murky. And it's not just about one man, it's about an entire system that enables such behavior. Sienna's courage in coming forward has shed light on the invisible mechanisms of control that often go unnoticed. Her experiences challenge us to rethink what we know about power, privilege, and perception. If something as simple as a sweater or a champagne bottle can carry such heavy implications, what else might we be missing? By now, you're probably connecting the dots. These weren't random acts of kindness or coincidence. They were signals, quiet, deliberate, and unnervingly calculated. Sienna's story offers a rare glimpse into the tactics allegedly used by one of the industry's most powerful figures. It's not about grand gestures or overt declarations of control. It's about the subtlety, using everyday objects as markers, creating a narrative of ownership without a single word being spoken. And here's where it gets even darker. These moments didn't happen in isolation. They echo through the allegations now surfacing against Diddy, allegations that include sex trafficking, racketeering, and the exploitation of vulnerable individuals. The sweater and the champagne weren't just signals, they were threads in a much larger, far more sinister web. So what does this say about the culture surrounding wealth and power and entertainment? If something as simple as a sweater or champagne bottle can carry such heavy implications, what else has gone unnoticed? How many more stories like Sienna's are out there, hidden behind the glitz and glamour? The answers to those questions might shock you. In this story, it's only just beginning. In September 2024, Sean P. Diddy Combs was arrested on charges that have rocked the entertainment industry: sex trafficking, racketeering, and more. Over 120 individuals have reportedly come forward with allegations ranging from rape to sexual abuse, some involving minors. While Diddy's legal team has categorically denied these claims, dismissing them as baseless and defamatory, the sheer volume of accusations has sparked a reckoning. But these revelations aren't just about one man, they're about a culture where wealth and influence often come with unspoken rules and expectations. The stories of the sweater and the champagne bottle highlight how seemingly mundane objects can become tools for asserting power and control. To those outside these circles, they might seem trivial or harmless. But for individuals like Sienna, these signals were anything but trivial. They were declarations of ownership in environments where consent becomes murky at best. And it doesn't stop there. These accounts shed light on broader issues of systemic exploitation in the entertainment industry. From Hollywood to hip-hop, power imbalances create environments where boundaries are routinely crossed and voices are often silenced. Sienna's courage in sharing her experiences not only challenges this culture, but also sparks an important conversation about the changes needed to protect those who find themselves in these vulnerable positions. As we unravel these stories, the question becomes, how many more signals like these have gone unnoticed or unspoken? How many others have been marked without understanding the implications until it was too late? The sweater and the champagne bottle are just the beginning of what could be a much larger, far darker narrative. But here's the real question: if these were just two signals, how many more methods of control are still hidden, waiting to come to light? What other secrets are buried in the glittering world of fame and fortune? This story is far from over, and the revelations may only grow more shocking. Stay tuned. What comes next might just change everything you thought you knew about the entertainment industry. For Sienna, her position as an OnlyFans model likely contributed to the complexities of her interactions with figures like Sean P. Diddy Combs. On one hand, her platform gives her visibility and influence. On the other, it places her in situations where her boundaries may be tested by individuals who see her work as a sign of vulnerability or openness to exploitation. This highlights an important conversation about the misconceptions surrounding OnlyFans creators and their autonomy. Many people misunderstand what it means to be an OnlyFans model. At its core, being successful on the platform requires a combination of business acumen, creativity, and resilience. Models are essentially running their own businesses, managing content production, engaging with subscribers, and building a personal brand. It's a full-time job, and for creators like Sienna, it can be incredibly rewarding. But with that reward comes the risk of being objectified, misunderstood, or as in her case, entangled in situations that challenge her agency. This ties into a larger societal issue, the tendency to dismiss or devalue the voices of those working in adult entertainment or unconventional spaces. Platforms like OnlyFans have given creators financial freedom and control, yet they still face an uphill battle for respect and recognition. Sienna's decision to share her story about Diddy isn't just an act of courage, it's a reminder of the need to dismantle the stereotypes and biases that often surround individuals in her line of work. What's more, the rise of OnlyFans has shifted the power dynamic in favor of creators. Models set their own terms, decide what content they want to share, and interact with their audience in ways that feel authentic to them. For many, this is liberating, an opportunity to escape the traditional gatekeepers of the entertainment industry. But even in this liberated space, challenges remain, especially when crossing paths with industries still dominated by old-school power structures. Sienna's story forces us to confront the intersections of power, privilege, and perception. It raises important questions about how society views individuals based on their professions and how that perception impacts their experiences in both public and private spaces. As an OnlyFans model, Sienna isn't just a participant in this conversation, she's a catalyst for it, pushing us to rethink the way we approach discussions about agency, consent, and respect. Sean P. Diddy Combs, once hailed as one of the most influential figures in music and business, now finds himself at the center of a shocking and deeply troubling scandal. The 54-year-old rapper and producer was arrested in September 2024, facing a series of charges that include sex trafficking, racketeering, and allegations of engaging in pedophilia. These allegations have sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, tarnishing the legacy of a man who once epitomized success and ambition. While Diddy has emphatically denied all accusations and pleaded not guilty, the details emerging from the case paint a grim picture. Federal prosecutors allege that Combs orchestrated a network of exploitation, using his wealth and power to manipulate and control vulnerable individuals. Among the accusations are claims that he engaged in relationships with minors, claims that, if proven true, could lead to a seismic reckoning not just for Diddy, but for the culture of silence that has long shielded powerful figures in entertainment. The charges against Diddy didn't emerge in a vacuum. For years, whispers and rumors have circulated about his behavior, with some individuals coming forward to share unsettling stories. However, these allegations were often dismissed as gossip, overshadowed by his enormous influence and public image. It wasn't until his arrest that a floodgate of accusations opened, with more than 120 individuals reportedly coming forward to file lawsuits or share their experiences. Among the most disturbing claims are those involving minors. Allegations of pedophilia and sexual abuse are among the most serious charges anyone can face, and in Diddy's case, they have sparked outrage and heartbreak among fans and industry peers alike. The impact of these allegations extends far beyond Diddy himself, shining a spotlight on the systemic issues that allow such abuses of power to go unchecked for so long. One of the key questions raised by this case is how someone so prominent and visible could allegedly commit such heinous acts without facing scrutiny sooner. It speaks to the culture of impunity that has long pervaded industries like music and entertainment. Wealth, influence, and the ability to control narratives often create an environment where accountability is elusive and victims are silenced. Diddy's arrest, however, signals a potential shift, a moment where even the most untouchable figures can be held to account. The implications of this case are far-reaching. For survivors, it represents an opportunity to finally be heard and to seek justice for the pain they've endured. For the entertainment industry, it's a stark reminder of the need for systemic change. And for the public, it's a moment to reflect on how we, as a society, enable and perpetuate these cycles of abuse by placing power and prestige above accountability. As the legal proceedings unfold, it's important to remember that the allegations against Diddy are still just that, allegations. He has maintained his innocence and insists that the truth will clear his name. His legal team has characterized the charges as a reckless media circus, designed to tarnish his reputation rather than seek justice. But as more voices come forward and the evidence mounts, it becomes increasingly difficult to dismiss the gravity of these claims. The public response to Diddy's arrest has been deeply divided. Some remain staunchly loyal to the artist, citing his philanthropic efforts and contributions to music as reasons to doubt the allegations. Others, however, see this as a long overdue moment of reckoning. Social media has become a battleground for debates over cancel culture, the presumption of innocence, and the responsibilities of celebrities and influencers. What makes this case even more complex is its potential to expose broader patterns of abuse within the entertainment world. If the allegations are proven, they could encourage more victims to come forward, not just against Diddy, but against other powerful figures who have used their influence to exploit others. The ripple effects could lead to significant reforms, from stricter oversight of industry practices to greater protections for those most vulnerable to abuse. As if the allegations against Sean P. Diddy Combs weren't already shocking enough, new reports have surfaced suggesting that the rapper may have utilized secret tunnels in his properties as part of a sinister system to carry out his alleged crimes. While these claims remain under investigation, the very idea of such a setup raises chilling questions about the extent of his operations and the lengths he may have gone to in order to evade scrutiny. According to sources close to the investigation, authorities are probing whether tunnels in certain Diddy-owned estates served as discreet pathways to move individuals without drawing attention. These tunnels, allegedly connected to private rooms and secluded spaces, could have provided an environment where abuse occurred away from prying eyes. If true, This revelation paints a deeply disturbing picture of how power and wealth can create physical infrastructures for exploitation. The concept of using secret passages or hidden spaces isn't new in history. They've been employed by figures of power for centuries, often to conceal illicit activities or to protect their privacy. But in Diddy's case, the potential use of tunnels goes far beyond privacy. It hints at premeditation and an attempt to create an entire ecosystem designed to enable and perpetuate abuse. This adds another layer of complexity to the charges against him, reinforcing the idea that these alleged crimes were not isolated incidents, but part of a well-organized operation. Investigators are reportedly looking into blueprints and architectural modifications in Diddy's properties, searching for evidence that these tunnels existed and were intentionally designed for such purposes. If these claims are substantiated, they could play a critical role in the federal case against him, demonstrating a level of planning and intent that would significantly undermine his claims of innocence. For the alleged victims, these tunnels are more than just a physical structure. They are a symbol of how far someone with power and resources can go to control and manipulate others. The secrecy they represent aligns with broader accusations of coercion and entrapment, where victims were allegedly isolated from any means of escape or help. This isn't just about the physical act of abuse, it's about the psychological toll of being trapped in an environment designed to strip away autonomy and dignity. The idea of hidden tunnels also raises questions about who else might have known or been complicit in these alleged crimes. Could staff, contractors, or close associates have been aware of their existence? And if so, why didn't anyone come forward sooner? These questions highlight the culture of silence that often surrounds powerful individuals, where fear, loyalty, or financial incentives prevent people from speaking out, even when they suspect wrongdoing. This revelation has sparked outrage and disbelief among the public, further tarnishing Diddy's already crumbling reputation. For years, he was seen as an emblem of success, a man who rose from humble beginnings to become a music mogul, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. But as these allegations pile up, they challenge that narrative, forcing fans and industry peers to reckon with the darker side of his legacy. On a broader scale, the alleged use of secret tunnels is a chilling reminder of how systemic abuse can be facilitated by infrastructure. It underscores the importance of holding not just individuals, but entire systems accountable. How do we ensure that properties and spaces aren't used to harm others? And how do we create checks and balances that prevent these environments from being exploited in the first place? While the investigation into these tunnels is ongoing, their existence, if proven, could become a pivotal piece of evidence in the case against Diddy. It could not only strengthen the claims of his accusers, but also serve as a wake-up call for industries and communities to examine how power is wielded and abused. If these tunnels are real, they represent more than just a physical gateway. They're a gateway into understanding how far individuals with unchecked power can go to conceal their actions. This isn't just a story about Sean Combs, it's a story about the systems that allow figures like him to operate in the shadows. What do you think these tunnels represent in the broader conversation about power and accountability? As the investigation into Sean P. Diddy Combs unfolds, another troubling detail has emerged. Allegations that Diddy frequently hired OnlyFans models for private encounters, many of which reportedly involved coercion and exploitation. These claims add another layer to the complex web of accusations surrounding the music mogul, painting a picture of calculated predatory behavior that exploited vulnerable individuals within the adult content industry. According to sources close to the case, Diddy allegedly sought out OnlyFans creators, leveraging their need for exposure and financial stability to pressure them into participating in activities beyond their comfort zones. The allegations suggest that while some encounters may have started as consensual business arrangements, they quickly turned into situations where the models felt powerless to say no. This dynamic speaks to a larger issue in the entertainment and adult industries, the imbalance of power that often leaves creators at a disadvantage. For many OnlyFans creators, platforms like these are a means of financial independence. However, the stigma associated with adult content can leave them vulnerable to exploitation, especially when approached by high-profile individuals like Diddy. Models who participated in these alleged encounters have reported feeling trapped, fearing backlash or harm to their careers if they spoke out or refused his demands. These dynamics echo the broader accusations against Diddy, suggesting a pattern of coercion and manipulation that extended to multiple aspects of his personal and professional life. One particularly disturbing claim is that some of these encounters were orchestrated under false pretenses. Models were allegedly invited to exclusive events or private meetings, only to find themselves in situations where expectations far exceeded what was initially agreed upon. In some cases, individuals claim they were pressured to engage in activities that went against their boundaries, with the threat of financial or social consequences hanging over their heads. These allegations bring to light the darker side of the OnlyFans phenomenon. While the platform has empowered many creators, it has also made them targets for individuals who view their work as an open invitation for exploitation. This isn't just about Diddy, it's about the broader culture that fails to protect creators and normalize respect for their autonomy. The fact that these allegations are coming to light now highlights the importance of speaking up and dismantling the systems that enable this kind of behavior. For Diddy, these claims further complicate his legal battles. If proven true, they could demonstrate a consistent pattern of targeting individuals he perceived as vulnerable, people he believed wouldn't have the means or platform to fight back. It's a chilling reminder of how power can be wielded to silence and control, and how far some will go to maintain their facade of untouchability. What makes these allegations even more shocking is the sheer number of individuals who have come forward with similar stories. This isn't an isolated incident, it's part of a larger pattern that speaks to a deeply rooted issue of abuse and exploitation. And as more details emerge, one can't help but wonder just how many lives were affected by Diddy's actions. The question now is, what else might come to light? These revelations have already shaken the entertainment industry to its core, but with every new allegation, the scope of Diddy's alleged crimes grows larger. Could there be more victims, more tactics, and even more sinister details waiting to be uncovered? If this is just the beginning, what might the end look like? This is a story that keeps unraveling, and it's hard not to wonder what's next. What other secrets have yet to be uncovered? And how deep does this go? The answers may shock us all. Stay tuned, because in the next video, we're diving even deeper into the tangled web of accusations surrounding Diddy, uncovering connections you wouldn't believe. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching. Check out our other videos, dive deeper, stay curious, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to never miss an update. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, inside out.